in the corner, it gives you a nice, secure feeling. You also want to try and take it in deeper.
Hey, you look good out there. You were smooth. You know, you didn't overcharge the corner. You didn't spin the wheels off the corner. But if I was you, I wouldn't quit your day job.
Now, just so you don't get the wrong idea, Jack is a rather constant racer in Legends cars up at Stafford Speedway. So on a short track, he really knows what he's doing. They're lined up, ready to come back to the green.
I'll tell you what, Paul, it enabled me to learn an awful lot about the idiosyncrasies of these SuperTrucks. They are a handful, real quick when it comes to throttle response.
Hornaday keeps the lead. Sedgwick closes in, followed by Skinner. Gary Collins there is a lap down. The real move is now coming from Jack Sprague, who closes in on the outside behind Skinner, and then PJ.
Skinner is in a real dilemma right now, Paul. He can't afford to let the lead duo get away. I really believe that it's going counter to what his original game plan was going to be. Save the tires, lay back at about 4th or 5th spot. This is a torrid pace thus far in this race for SuperTrucks, and he's caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. Sprague, on the other end, I tend to think he's finally got his truck dialed in, knows that there's some Super TV exposure, and he's going to the front regardless of what happens.
Well, right now he's managed to get around the slower Gary Collins. Has one truck off and on. That's Dave Ashley. Took a big spin down the backstretch and got back on as the leaders come around.
You talk about throttle response. I was telling you before, you can actually light the tires up, and that's the situation that happened with Ashley. Coming out of the corner, you get a lot of wheel spin. It throws the truck around, and you've lost control. And
with Ashley's spin, because there is debris up on the track, they've decided to go caution once again. 64 laps now complete. Ron Hornaday Jr. is in front under the yellow, followed by Sedgwick, Skinner, Sprague, P.J. Jones, and Mike Bliss.
That's one small step for man.
Imagine up to 350 channels delivered right to your television. All the best movies, sports, radio, and entertainment. The full view satellite TV system. It's one giant leap in home television. Get free home installation. Call 1-800-778-4900 for a dealer near you.
The rewards of using the American Express card keep adding up. Every time you use the card, you can earn miles. Miles that add up to free vacations, free flights, free adventures. The Membership Miles program. It's our way of saying thank you for using the American Express card. Enroll today. You've earned it. To enroll or to apply for a card, call 1-800-AX-MILES.
To soothe athlete's foot, Desinex does it. But to cure athlete's foot, Desinex does it. Only Desinex has UDA to both soothe the discomfort and kill the fungus. To soothe and cure, Desinex does it all.
Announcing a waterproofing breakthrough.
Thompson's Water Seal Ultra Waterproofer.
Ultra powerful.
The best multi-surface waterproofer you can buy.
Ultra protective.
Thompson's Ultra beats the competition hands down.
Thompson's Ultra, the ultimate waterproofer.
For those whose idea of luxury is any place they can take a load off, Chevy introduces our all-new interior with the comfort of available leather, the security of an airbag, and the pleasure of power-adjustable lumbar seats. You could say these guys are sitting pretty. We just wouldn't advise it.
And we'll return to Bakersfield in just a moment for more of the ABC brings you live final round coverage of the Liberty Mutual Legends of Golf. For an update, let's go to Roger Twible. Roger?
Thank you very much, Julie. It was a beautiful day at the stadium course at PGA West for the second round of the Liberty Mutual Legends of Golf, and two former two-time winners, Dale Douglas and Charlie Cootie, and Lee Trevino and Mike Hill playing awfully well. We ask you to join us for our final round coverage on Sunday here on ABC Sports.
Thanks, Roger. Here is the latest from the NFL draft. The #1 pick, Penn State's Kajana Carter, goes to Cincinnati. 29 picks have been made so far. And now let's go back to Paul Page and the NASCAR SuperTrucks. Paul?
Julie, the only thing that has changed here at Mesa Marin is we've gone from caution to green flag racing. The order remains unchanged. Hornaday is still the leader. Sedgwick is trying to catch him, as is Michael Skinner. You look a little further back in that lineup, though. One guy to keep an eye on is the 08 car of Mike Bliss, who is moving forward very quickly now. And he has really come up through this field. So Mike Bliss, who cut his teeth in the United States Auto Club, is looking great here today. There's your running order, the top cars in the field. You can see Bliss sitting there behind P.J. Jones in 6th place.
And Bliss is a classic example of what this SuperTruck series is supposed to do. Offer an aspiring young race driver an opportunity to get some Winston Cup type experience, still utilizing his ability for short tracks, because they're going to mix between short ovals and the short super speedways, 1 miles like Phoenix and then the Milwaukee Mile. So this is a good series for someone like Bliss.
You know, it seems to be a little surprising to me is just out of the range of this picture on the right there is the pole sitter of the race. There's Skinner, a black #3. You would have thought that he would have been up hammering at the front. Phil Parsons, is there a problem, or is he just being smart?
Paul, I talked to one of his crew guys just moments ago, Jesse Koch. I said, Jesse, you guys running as hard as you can? He said, man, we're just trying to make sure these tires stay on this thing for 125 laps, so don't count out Skinner yet.
He's just waiting station now, back about 2 car lengths behind Sedgwick.
A very uncharacteristic run for Skinner. Skinner's the type of guy that likes to go to the front. He realizes running for Richard Childress that he has to show the same sort of driving style and potential that the other man in black that drives for Childress, Dale Earnhardt, does. But as we're on board, let's watch the line of Skinner's truck as they go down the straightaways. Now you'll see him begin to initiate his turn. He'll plank that left front wheel right below the white line. Now he's accelerating, coming back up through the throttle. Right there is where you might get some wheel spin if you're not real smooth. Now, the case with someone like Skinner, he's so experienced at it, and he's got the best seat in the house for this battle for the lead directly in front of him.
Speaking of good views, let's take you now back to look out the back of P.J. Jones's truck. As we've got a spin just coming off at turn 2, and once again, it's Ashley in the 2 truck. Remember, he was the cause of the last caution when he picked some dirt up spinning down the backstretch. No yellow yet.
Looks like no harm, no foul. They're going to keep this one going.
78 laps complete. Hornaday still the leader, but Sedgwick is right there. So is Skinner. So is the 31 of Jack Sprague. 15 trucks all on the lead lap.
Let's take a look at this spin by car #2, the David Ashley machine. There he is. He just plain loses it as he comes to the middle of the screen. A close call there by Butler in the yellow truck, but Ashley keeps it in gear and begins to spin the rear wheels trying to get back out.
Second time today that Toby Butler has had a close call. He's going to say, okay, that's it.
You know, we were talking about Mike Skinner and the man in black. This lead truck, Paul, believe it or not, is owned by the man in black himself. Major
big
crash.
Spin from Pancho Carter. Walker Evans is in it. Lagasse goes down to the inside. So Pancho and Walker Evans make contact, our first contact of the day, this at the 80th of 125 laps. Walker Evans is able to get it restarted and stays out with damage only to the right front of his Dodge.
Let's check the right side of your frame on the screen here. You'll see the smoke begin. Pancho Carter is already sideways. Locks up all the tires on the SuperTruck. A cloud of dust. Walker Evans just had no place to go. It's as if he locked up the binders and was actually sliding into Pancho because there was no hard contact there.
Going high would have been the answer, but he couldn't get that high fast enough. So Walker Evans now with little more serious damage than we originally suggested to the front of his machine. And once again, we are under caution. Let's take a look at the top 10 here with Ron Hornaday Jr. still the leader. Look at Swindell and Keselowski. They're moving up.
From Darlington to Talladega, through Daytona, Rockingham, and Watkins Glen. In every major NASCAR race, Busch Beer recognizes the pole winner with the Busch Pole Award. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, everyone follows the leader. Busch Beer, proud sponsor and official beer of NASCAR.
The legends team up to battle the TPC Stadium course at PGA West. Don't miss the Liberty Mutual Legends live on ABC.
I remember building this deck, but the Palmers forgot to protect it with Thompson's Wood Protector Preservative. Protection from water, sun, and mildew damage. They learned their lesson. Thompson's Wood Protector Preservative. #1 for wood.
Hey, you get into fitness, you're likely to get into athlete's foot, and that could be tough. I mean, look at. You've got all that itching and cracking stuff, and watch this. Boom, even burning. You see that? Now, that's what you call a really tough case. That's when you want a medicine that acts tough. Boom, tough Actin Tinactin. See, Tinactin cures even tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. It's clinically proven. No wonder it's recommended by pharmacists. You got a tough case of athlete's foot? Get this. Boom. Tough Actin Tinactin.
This is the inspiration behind Goodyear's newest Aquatread for light trucks and sport utilities. 2 aqua channels sweep water away. You get the sheer rugged toughness of a Goodyear Wrangler and the outstanding wet traction of a Goodyear Aquatread. Welcome to the Aquatread family. The new 50,000-mile Wrangler Aquatread, only from Goodyear.
On any given day at Sun Valley Middle School, you'll see something going on that is quite inspiring. Mr. Burns knows that to motivate and educate his students, he must make the learning process fun and interesting. And that's why NASCAR is now a part of everyday life for these students who are using NASCAR to help study math, science, reading, art, and even physical fitness. NASCAR, the teams, and drivers would like to recognize all of the teachers like Mr. Burns who are using NASCAR to help educate children.
Hesitate in your history. It's foot to the floorboards action when top dragsters burn up the strip. It's the NHRA Fram Nationals next Sunday on ABC.
You've heard him express his pride about it time and time again. An alumni of Bakersfield High School went on to become an All-American at USC, a New York Giant, and finally an announcer at ABC Sports. Take a look at number 36, class of 1948, Frank Gifford. We're at Mesa Marin Raceway on the edge of Bakersfield, California for the NASCAR SuperTrucks. Thus far, 84 laps into the record book. We are under a caution period. Walker Evans and Pancho Carter got together to cause this caution. They are both back out on the race course. They've done some repairs, but apparently no problem. They're going to keep racing. And here's the way they stand after these 84 laps. And in the pits, Bill, what's going on? What are they thinking?
I'll tell you what, Paul, I'm with Fred Wanke, crew chief for Mike Bliss in a 08 Ultra Wheel truck. I'll tell you, this guy, they started 17th and they're already up to 5th. We talked just before the race, and I said, Fred, how you doing? He said, man, we're struggling. You obviously something you did work. Tell me what you did.
Well, actually, we changed about everything on the truck. We changed the sway bar, we moved the rear end, we put spring rubbers in, and we moved the front wheels all around. And actually, the people that work on this truck is Jim Smith's Ultra Wheels off-road crew. And, you know, they've just been working hard and haven't given up. And they said, well, we'll try anything. So we did. We just took it apart and put it back together.
I'll tell you, whatever they did, it worked, and they're doing a heck of a job.
You heard the mention of Jim Smith. Paul, he is one of the principals that actually started SuperTruck racing, along with Gary Collins. Off-road racers that said, we're tired of the desert. We want to try and do some organized racing in front of thousands of fans, and SuperTrucks were born.
And as you notice, under this California sun, they really sparkle. They're spectacular. Still under caution, though the course itself looks like they're pretty well ready to go. They come into their rows of 2. Cars a lap down to the inside to give the leaders of the race a nice clean shot. and we should go back racing. 125 laps, 62.5 miles, the scheduled distance.
Now is when we've got to begin to think and see strategy unfolding for the end of the race. If you're in the front four, do you run flat out? If you're in the back, do you try to come to the front? It's down and dirty time now, Paul.
You think they'll go this early?
I think they've got to try it out maybe in the initial laps, at least begin to play some dummies to see just what's going to work. Nobody's quite sure yet if Skinner has been holding back and Sedgwick and Hornaday have been running flat out. I think Skinner's going to come up now and challenge just a little bit to see what they've got left, the second and first place machines.
First, second, and third break away from the pack. That gives Jack Sprague some distance to make up if he's going to catch Skinner. Right behind him is Bliss, and then Joe Ruttman is beginning to close as well.
As we watch on board Mike Skinner's SuperTruck, one of the things that we were talking about at the top of the show is there aren't 200-mile-an-hour speeds. A lot of people didn't think that the draft played or came into play in short track racing, but there's been a lot of experimentation going on, specifically with the folks up at in Connecticut that did the Bodine bobsleds, and they're beginning to think that there might be some nuances to the draft that over all these years people have forgotten about. They run pretty big spoilers both on SuperTrucks and most short track machines, so the draft may be something that short trackers discover very shortly.
First, second, and third continue their breakaway. Mike Bliss runs in fourth, and a giant crowd behind them. There's Mike Bliss as he closes on Sprague. This is a battle for fourth place. This group is about 3 seconds behind the leaders of the race. We're back to the leaders now.
I think we saw Skinner try just enough. He pulled his nose up with the SuperTruck, tried out the first and second place machines, got behind Sedgwick. Now he's backed off just a little bit because once again, he is trying to conserve his tires. I'll tell you what, Paul, when the tires go away on any vehicle, but especially these SuperTrucks, they're using a hard compound that was used 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I believe, in Winston Cup competition in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They're using them here today. All drivers are taught in school to conserve their tires, especially when they don't have the luxury of coming in and changing them during cautions.
So you think that's the game with Skinner? He's made his try. He now knows what he can do, while Sedgwick and Hornaday are really in a battle here at the front.
I cannot believe that the front two machines have run such a torrid place and, Paul, haven't used up their tires, especially Hornaday and Sedgwick. Skinner, you know, he's the guy that's becoming the tire guru on this series. He's preaching about tires going away since they dropped the green flag at the first practice.
So you're watching Hornaday and Sedgwick, 1 and 2. Third place is Mike Skinner. We asked him, what happens? What does it feel like when the tires go?
Well, basically, it just gets really ill. If the truck is loose, it's going to be real loose. If it's tight, it gets real tight, or it just gets skating. And if the truck's pretty neutral, it just slides off four wheels. It really gets ill. Usually, whatever it's doing, it'll do a lot worse.
And as we say, when we say a racing tire goes away, Paul, it doesn't wear out. It loses its adhesion because of the fact that a team has tried to force that tire to grip the road in a very awkward position. That's in a cornering situation, and the tire gets so much heat that it begins to loosen its grip. Try and hold on to the side of a railing yourself. After a couple of minutes, you'll start to slip off.
Good explanation. I like it too. Gets ill. There's the leader, Ron Hornaday Jr. Let's go to the pits once again. Phil Parsons.
Hey, Paul, I'm with Banjo Grimm, one of the crewmen on Ron Hornaday's truck. You guys are setting a blistering pace. You got anything left?
I believe so, Phil. Ron feels real comfortable out front, more so than running back behind any trucks. He thinks he's got something for them at the end.
That's good. That's Banjo Grimm, crewman for Ron Hornaday.
You know, one of the things, Phil and Paul, is everybody wonders about where do they get all these crew members for this series. But what a lot of people have done is taken right to Winston Cup once again and taken crew members, Banjo Grimm one of them, and they've brought them to SuperTrucks trying to get these youngsters started.
Taking a look back in the field now, you just got a glimpse of the 98 of Butch Miller as he took a move to the outside. Miller has moved from last place up into 8th. And there he is as he comes around P.J. Jones.
Shades of Tucson, Arizona in round 2, where Miller came from the back and really began to challenge and actually led until he ran the tires right off the car in the waning moments. Today he had a good starting spot, but remember he started from pit road because they were up under the hood before they dropped the green flag.
And Mike Bliss is around Jack Sprague for 4th place now. Swindell coming up behind P.J. Boy, look at him drift out there. Sammy Swindell in that blue car. Truck.
And Paul, the trucks now are into what we call a classic Saturday night short track action. We're down to less than 25 laps. Most short tracks run 25 or 30 lap main events. They use the extra distance ones for special events. These short truckers now are going to have to go short track style. They're going to run flat out. But the question is, who's got the most rubber left to be able to propel themselves to victory lane?
Hornaday is the leader. You just saw Lagacy making a move down to the inside of P.J. Jones as well. So they're lined up, ready to go to war, while at the same time they're mixed in with the back marker traffic. And so they've got quite a bit to make up and quite a bit of traffic to try to make it up through it. 102 laps, 125 the scheduled distance. And there's your top 10.
Monroe developed SensorTrack shocks to smooth out the road for a comfortable ride. But SensorTrack doesn't stop there. It's the only shock that also gives you extra control when you need it most. SensorTrack shocks and struts, only by Monroe. For comfort and control. Get SensorTrack shocks. Call 1-800-STRUT now for a Monroe ride expert near you.
At Chevrolet, we're not just out here winning. We're testing suspensions, developing more powerful engines, and learning more about aerodynamics. Because if you want to bring more race-winning technology to the street than any other car company, sometimes you have to work weekends. That's genuine Chevrolet.
Your kid watches TV. He sees an action hero. He wants the action hero. You go looking for the action hero. Not the green one, not the red one, but the blue action hero. The first store is out of action heroes. The 5th store only has red action heroes. You find a store that has the blue action hero. You buy it, he breaks it. You need a new blue action hero. Luckily, you bought it with your Citibank card. They'll take care of it. It's that simple. Now, who's the action hero?
Only one satellite TV system offers the most sports, from the most channels to the best coverage. The Full View Satellite TV system. It's one giant leap in home television.
Houston, could you repeat on the whole thing again, please?
Get free home installation. Call 1-800-778-4900 for a dealer near you.
Next Saturday, ABC Sports has a golf shootout Texas style, an international gymnastics showdown, and a preview of horse racing's biggest show. First, the PGA Tour's top guns shoot it out in the Lone Star State as we begin coverage of the Shell Houston Open. Then on ABC's Wide World of Sports, American Dominique Dawes is a star on the rise. She leads our country's best at the Visa Gymnastics Challenge. Plus, a look ahead at the Run for the Roses as NASDAQ presents the Kentucky Derby Preview. It's all next Saturday on ABC.
We're back live at the NASCAR SuperTrucks, Mesa Marin Raceway, Bakersfield, California. Nothing's changed since we left you. Ron Hornaday Jr. is still the leader. Well, what has changed is running through traffic. The separation now back to second place. Bill Sedgwick has increased to 1.8 seconds, and they are really having to fight their way through traffic.
Hornaday working this racetrack much better than Bill Sedgwick. Hornaday, that red truck, Paul, is owned by Dale Earnhardt, and Earnhardt taps Hornaday to drive this truck after seeing Hornaday run his own Super Truck in what was called the Winter Heat Series, which was a preamble to the NASCAR Super Truck Series of '96. And the man that tuned the wrenches on Hornaday's regular mount at the beginning of the Winter Heat Series was Bill Sedgwick. Sedgwick in the blue and white number 75, now running in second.
A So there's the second place, Bill Sedgwick. Now, at the same time, Mike Bliss has been able to move around Mike Skinner. Let's go to the pits and Phil Parsons.
I'm with Leon Ruth, the crew chief for P.J. Jones. P.J. looked real good early, Leon, but he seemed to be backing up. What's going wrong?
Well, we were trying to save the tires, and evidently I missed a little bit on the chassis setup today, so we're just having to slide back, and that's all we can do.
Well, they'll be back the next race, guys. I'll tell you, I've been watching in the corner here, and these guys are absolutely stopping down in the middle of the corner, so they're just running on air right now.
Well, you saw Hornaday as he put PJ a lap down, does the same thing now for Corelli. Hornaday's really on the fly with just 10 laps to go now to the finish.
And one has got to be impressed with the run by Hornaday, because everybody is literally running out of tires, but it has not dramatically affected the run of the red number 16. He has run the same line. As you watch him come out of the corner here, he stays real low and then just lets the truck have its own head right up to the outside. And he looks like he might have just a little bit of damage down on the right side, down by the spoiler. He's been in it already in this short track war.
You got a glimpse of the second place car, the second place truck, the 75 Sedgwick.
You know, we're going to be able
up alongside of
We're going to be able to have a party just on your donation.
I'm broke already. Sedgwick now trying to close in. Hornaday running alone clear for the moment. But you don't run clear very long on a short track, especially a bank short track like Mesa Marin. 8 laps to go. Mike Bliss has had a spectacular day.
Paul, let me show you the traffic that Hornaday's got to contend with only a few laps to go. They're directly in front of him. Now, what a driver will do is try and pick his way through the traffic. If you had a watch on Hornaday right now, he wouldn't be running the same speeds, because he'll find a spot to be able to just hang the truck on the outside as he goes into the corner. There's a perfect example. Back out of the throttle, let the traffic find its own position so that you don't get caught up in an accident. But also, this helps you in terms of keeping the guys that are chasing you down in second, third, and fourth behind you. Even though he has a lengthy lead right now, he picks his way through that traffic.
It's around Jerry Churchill, around Pancho Carter. Sammy Swindell, the 38 car, the 38 truck, the blue machine there, has from time to time been kind of slow off of the order, off of the corner.
But he's still being shown in the 10th position, so a fine ride for Swindell. But this is a classic illustration, too, of the torrid pace that Hornaday has set today. He's about to lap the 10th place truck.
37 truck there is Bob Strait.
And here's where you've got to be careful, because you're glued down to the inside, working race traffic. You know there's just a fistful of laps to go. You don't want to press the outside of the envelope. Hornaday now has 2 moving picks between himself and Sedgwick. And Sedgwick is just about out of this one with 4 laps to go.
It's Hornaday, then 2 trucks, then Sedgwick. 4 to go. Sedgwick looking to the outside. Now 3 to go for Hornaday.
There's Sedgwick.
Sedgwick's got the first.
The blue and the white, number 75, works the outside
again,
of Swindell.
Way high, loses the back end for a second.
You can see his tires are junk. They've gone away. Got so much heat in them. They've worn them down so far that he is just holding on for dear life now, trying the best that he can to keep that 3rd place machine of Mike Bliss from closing in on him for second.
Swindell just high in front of him with 2 laps to go. Sedgwick now makes his move down in turn 2. It was a problem for him earlier. And he's still not around him. Now he finally gets around Swindell. Second place is a long way back. And as the white flag comes out for Ron Hornaday Jr.
And Hornaday is looking at Roger Mears, Butler. Check that, not Butler, but the 58 of Wayne Jackson. Works to the inside of Jackson. This is going to be a great win.
So Ron Hornaday Jr. is looking terrific as he comes to the final set of turns. Butch Miller has moved around Jack Sprague and moved into 5th place. And Ron Hornaday Jr. takes round number 4 of the NASCAR SuperTrucks. Very, very smart drive for the day, and quite a few surprises here. Skinner finishes in 3rd. The order is Hornaday, and then Sedgwick, Bliss, and then Mike Skinner. Let's go to Phil.
I'm with the crew chief for Ron Hornaday, Doug Richard. Doug, that's the 2nd win out of 4. That's not too bad, huh?
And I'm real proud of the whole team, and Dale and Teresa's give us a lot of equipment to work with here. And I tell you, Ron has got a lot of potential here. And he just did one heck of a smart race today. That was the biggest key. And I talked to him every lap, and he was nice and smooth. We worked together, and I can't say much. You know, Actin Collectibles is on the truck, and I'm happy for Fred, and just looking forward to it.
All right, let's let him get to victory lane. Back up to you guys.